إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Alhamdulillah, we have come to the last lesson in master letters. The only thing left is the appendix. But I wanted to say something. I wanted to explain a few points to everybody before we do this last lesson. Here is the thing. We have in Arabic. Do you guys remember what we're doing here? What does Araba mean? Let's go back to our original first lesson. The very first lesson in learning Arabic is to take the word Lughat al-Arabiya. We know Lugha means language. What does Arabiya mean?
To make something crystal clear, to leave no doubt.
Right, to make an expression crystal clear, to leave no doubt about a sentiment. Right? It refers to a group of people. When we talk about Lughat al-Arabiya, it refers to those people who spoke that particular language. Now, the Arabic has three types of words, right? That was three. Three types of words. What are they? Ismun and ismun. What is the other type of word? Fi'lun. What's the third one? Harfun. In this order. The best and the most powerful of them is the ismun. And it is a word that points to a meaning. In and of itself. Don't die on me, no, in and of yourself. Be excited. This is really knowledge right here. It's very important to know what an ismun is. Meaning it has an independent meaning, not dependent on something else. Independent. A meaning independent of its own self. It doesn't have a meaning that's relying on something else. And we'll get to that. And it's not connected to a time frame. So what type of words in English? It's a supernoun. We call it a supernoun, right? No, we call it a person, place, thing, description. This last one, description, covers so many things in the English language. Okay? Because in English, it stops at person, place, or thing. Now, after knowing what that is, we go to the next one. What is a fi'lun? An action word, right? Supernoun, action. Action word. So it is a word that points to an action, right? So it is kalimatun dallat ala ma'na fi nafsiha. So it is a word that has a meaning in and of itself. Again, its meaning of this word is independent. It's not dependent on another word to understand the meaning of that word, right? And it's, what, is it connected to a time frame? It's connected, so this one is connected to what? Time frame. One of these three time frames. This one is not connected to a time frame. Not being connected to a time frame makes it more powerful. Okay? So this one being connected makes it a little bit weaker than this one. Right? So, connected to a time frame. What are the time frames? The first time frame you're going to mention is the past tense, right? The next one is what? Present / future, right? And we spoke about why is it present / future? Because as you talk now, you're going into the what? Future. Okay? And you've left the past. Now, what's the third one? Order. No, I said time frame. Immediate. So the next one is the immediate time frame. This corresponds with terms that we call maldi, which literally means past. This one we call mudari, which means to be similar to an ismun. Right? What is it similar in? It has the dhamma. Right? It changes. It goes dhamma, fatha, kasra. And this one does the similar, but it doesn't take the kasra. Right? Okay, I have to write bigger. Then it says the third one is an amrun. Okay? Which is an order. And an order, so we learn from this. One of the things we learn now, remember, by learning Arabic, we learn usul al-fiqh. By learning Arabic, we learn Quran. By learning Arabic, we learn everything that we need to learn. Quran and Arabiyya la'allakum ta'qilun, so you can gain an intellect. So we learned that an order demands or denotes what? Immediacy. Right? We notice that automatically. We'll see that again when we get to usul al-fiqh. When we see Allah gives us an order, we're going to learn how to apply that order. Okay? So, and then we get to a harfun. What is a harfun? Harfun. What is a harfun? See, that's where people stop. And that's why we did all of this. And that's why we started with the harfun. Because there is no word in English that describes a harf like a supernoun or an action word. So we just use it as a harf. It's a harf. That's what we're going to call it. We don't have a similar word to it. However, what is it? It's a connector word in some instances. Sometimes it's a connector, right? Sometimes it's an alphabet, right? And sometimes it's a word, a single letter word. Right, the words with extra meanings. Like mu. That's a word. Right? Means the one who has the qualities of whatever comes left. So if we put Islam here, Muslim, right? One who is in Islam. Or we have shirk here. We have mushrik, one who is in shirk. Okay? So, these are the single letter words. So these are the three things that a harf can be. But what is a harf? A harf is a kalimatun dallat ala ma'na fi ghayriha. Is a word that points to a meaning in another word. So it doesn't have an independent meaning. It points to a meaning in some other word, and it's not even connected to a time frame. That's what it means as a connector. Right? We haven't gotten to that yet. But we started with these. And that's what we've been doing here. We haven't even talked about it as a connector. We've been talking about it as an alphabet. As a alphabet, not even as a single letter words. Because to know the single letter words would be sa'altumuniha, sa'altumuniha. Sa'altumuniha. These are the single letter words, all of them in the whole Arabic alphabet. We'll go through them and you'll always be able to remember it because it says sa'altumuniha. Okay? And when we get to the connectors, we'll know those from min, ila, wa an, wa fi, wa rubba, wal ba, wa ala, wal kafu, wa lamun, wa wun, wa ta, wa mudh, wa mundh, wa la'alla, hatta. We say wa an, wa anna, wa la'alla. We have so many different ones. We have more than that. Wa lan, wa lam, wa lamma, wa alamma. So we have some more, but we'll get to all of those. And those are just dealing with the harf. So we're just at the beginning point. When we've gone through, how many lessons have we gone through to get to the point of just dealing with the alphabets? Was it 8th lesson, 9th lesson? Just with master letters. In order to deal with the alphabet, we've been doing master letters, which is the play on the words, because you have to master the letters before you master anything else. And many people think they're shuyukh, think they're tulab, think they're all this and that, and all talibul ilm, and they haven't even mastered the letters. Not with no teacher. Self-study. How can you be a student if you have no teacher? How can you say, I'm a talibul ilm, and you have no teacher that taught you what you're claiming that you can teach? Does it make sense? So my point here, in going over this right now today, is to let everybody know we're just at the beginning. We're just getting our feet wet, the bottoms of our feet wet, by coming to the last part. So we started with master letters. And we got to, what does master letters comprise of? Because this is the way we're going. All this is here. We haven't done an ismun. We haven't done a fi'lun. We're still at the harfun. And there's 3 types of harfun. Right? And we're dealing with the alphabet. Just the alphabet. Through the text of master letters. What is master letters? It's abjad. Right? Let's hear it. Abjad. What's the next one? Hawaz. What's the next one? Huttiya. What's the next one? Kaliman. Right? What's the next one? Sa'fas, right? What's the next one? Kurishat. What's the next one? Thaqid. Thaqid. What's the next one? Dhadig. Okay? Dhadig. And this is the one that we're going to do today. This is where we're at. We're on dadir. That is one inkling of dealing with just master letters. And when we finish this, when we finish dadir, we'll be done, master letters. We'll be done the alphabet. You understand? And we'll be able to go to the next style. Next type, the connectors, or the single word letters. Do you understand my point? Yes. And then once we finish and we knock out the harf, then we'll go to the next one. That's why we say this is the complete Arabic, because we're not going to leave nothing. I don't know if that makes sense. We're not going to leave nothing. But y'all understand, it's Brooklynese. So, we're going to cover it all. If you're patient. If you're patient. Okay? Now, we only missed 1 week, and that was really severe weather. So, we had the class, but there weren't that many people here, so we did not do dadir. This week, we're going to do dadir. It's very short. After all this time, you guys, could you get the board for me, please? Erase the board. Do we have those paper? Now, that's just a prelude. Remember, Arabic, or any science, with as grand as it is, it's levels. Yeah, we bought some last week. Nobody's there. Open to see if it's if he should be. Shukran. Jazakallah khair. Now, knowledge with all its master degrees and everything like that is levels. You have to go through the different levels. Okay, now you guys have the handout. You have the whole book written out for you. It's in front of you. And you people on the internet, you can download it from the website. And so you should be looking at the lesson right now in front of you. That's just one part of it. Now we're going to go over its explanation. The first letter, and I'm going to write this one down today, Jazakallah khair. Afwan kathiran. This is Dad. And I have to go fast because we have little time here. Right? Young man, pass me those black markers, please. It says, read it with me. Though Dad is dull and sounds like dumb, we cannot read without it. So flatten tongues and press them up. Side edges to be grinded. To be grinded. Okay, let's stop here. We're going over this piece by piece. Though Dad is dull and sounds like dumb, we cannot read without it. The Arabic language is called Lughatul Dad. What is it called? This letter is one of the most important letters of identification. Okay? Meaning we identify the Arabic language with the Dad. Why? Because there's no other language that has Dad. There is no other language that has the letter Dad, the sound Dad. The closest, English, however, has inherited the letter Dad, the sound Dad, in the word dumb. However, because of the tasheel, the laziness, or the lightning, the ease of it, we don't pronounce it the same way. But its origin, the origin of the word dumb, comes from the letter Dad. Okay? Actually, the word dumb is an Arabic word. It's a name. So we said, though Dad is dull. See, dull? That word dull also is an Arabic word that has become into the English language. What does dull mean? What do we say? Walad? It's the same thing. Say this word. Dull. Say this word. Dull. You see it has two L's? You see it's pronounced, it has an U, but it doesn't say dul, it says dull, right? That's because it's pronounced with that isti'la. Dull. Same word. What does this mean? It means to be astray, not to be all the way there, right? What does Allah say about them? وَلَدَّالِّينَ. They're astray. They don't know where they're at. It's the same word. So the English one comes from here. So again, we see where the D, the dad, is the D in the word dal and dumb come from the Arabic language. So we can't say that English has inherited that letter. Now we say dumb, and it sounds like dumb. Say dumb. Now say dad. Dumb. You see the similarities? It's almost the exact same makhraj. In fact, it's supposed to be. But it's not because we haven't learned it that way. The word dumb, it comes from the Arabic language. There was a family. His name was Ibn Damdami. What was his name? Okay, so now we know the word Damdami comes from the Arabic language. And I don't know if I told you this story before. But Ibn Damdami, first let me go back. In the times of Jahiliyyah, before Islam came down, there were two families that were fighting, two tribes, they were fighting. They fought for 30 years, 30-year war, like the Bloods and the Crips, fighting and killing each other for 30 years, until two people stood up that were not in those two tribes, and they said, look, we're going to pay money for you guys to stop fighting. And the way they paid money is they would give you camels for the dead people, because people are fighting because you killed my uncle, you killed my cousin, you killed my brother, so I'm going to get you back. And then you kill his cousin, so now he has to kill somebody else from you, and it goes on and goes on. They say, hold on, what if I give you some money? What if I give you some camels, and you be good with that? So people said, yeah, okay, for every dead person, we're going to get some camels. Ibn Damdami, he wanted some camels too, okay? So he said, well, I'm going to go kill somebody from the other people, all right? And then I'll be in the mix, I'm going to get in the mix too, and then I'll get me some camels. And so somebody said, that don't make no sense. If you do that, they're going to kill you. He says, no, I won't. Because after I kill them, I'm going to ride away. And the miljam is the bit that you put in the camel's mouth. Okay? He says, I'm going to ride away until I break 1,000 bits. So I'm going to ride far, far away. And they won't get me. Isn't that dumb? You see the term dumb? It's attached to him. Because he was the first dummy. Okay? That don't make no sense. Now you're not getting no camels because you ran away. But Ibn Damdami, he went and he killed the man. And they say he got away. Some people say they killed him. No one wants to say whose family he was in. Okay? But it didn't break the truce. But ever since then, because this is the ones that say he got away, and he got married. So whenever somebody does something that doesn't make sense, they say, what are you, a dummy? What are you, related to Ibn Damdami? So they say, what are you, a dummy? And still to today, they ask, what are you, a dummy? So this is where it comes from, that term. All right? And it comes from the Lughat al-Arabiyyah. I'm just giving that so you can understand. So dad sounds like it's dull, and it sounds like dumb. We cannot read without it. You need the dad in the language. Walhamdulillah. So flatten tongues and press them up side edges to be grinded. Now here we are being taught exactly how to pronounce it. You flatten your tongue so that you make the sides of your tongue fat. In your mouth. You have to practice this. You make the sides of your tongue fat. And you say, and press them up, and you press, the tongue goes up. Il. And so, you see that? Say, il. And the side at the grind is either on your right or the left side. Some people say it's easier on the left. Some say it's easier on the right. Most people say it's easier on the left. That's what they say, but it's a personal thing. Allah may make it easier on a person on the right, whatever. The point is that it comes off the side, and you got to make your tongue faster. Say, bah. You see that an air will pop out. You can do it from both sides. Da. If you note right here on the side, da. Da. And your mouth has to be round. And then that tongue goes up. Okay? Walad da. You see that? Walad. You see the sound, it sucks and it grinds. And doesn't have qalqala. So those people say, walada. No. You just said walad. Okay? You just said walad. With qalqala. But if you're saying walad, here, this alif is not taken into consideration. This alif is not taken into consideration because of the shadda. So the sound is going to go wa, lad, right that way. Okay? Even though it's written this way. So it's walad. Let me hear that. But we'll talk about that later. The point is I want you to get the sound. The. You're saying it goes on the side, the grinders, not the cutters. Wala, or you say ild. Ild. You see the sound comes out that way. And it may pop from one of the sides. So this is the first thing that I want you to know. This is one of the hardest letters to learn how to do. The only way you're going to get it with confidence is if you sit in front of someone who has learned it from someone who has learned it from someone until that someone goes back to who? The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And you say, well, that's impossible to now. It's 2009. What you saying? That's not true. Everybody who's Hafiz al-Quran has learned that Quran from somebody who learned it from somebody until it went back to the Prophet, even now in 2009. Okay? What you have to do is find that person and be humble enough to spend your time and energy to get it from them. Okay? As Imam Malik said, knowledge doesn't come after anybody, but everybody has to go after knowledge, no matter who you are. Okay? So, let's move right along. Read the poem to me, somebody out loud. Though dad is dull and sounds like dumb, we cannot read without it, so flatten tongues and press them upside edges to be grinded. Read out. Then add rikhwa, jahrun, and samt. It's back to be what? To be ignited, right. Let me write this down. 800th rule. For dad we use, ikhfa must be recited. It says, then add rikhwan, okay? It says rikhwan, and then it says jahrun, samt, itbaq. I'm not writing this all out like this, to get ignited, okay? Then it says, it's 800th rule, 800th rule for dad, right? We use ikhfa. I'm just writing down some points. It to be recited with istital, and isti'la. Isti'la. Okay, so now we'll go through it again. Read it to me, please, again, out loud. Then add rikhwan, jahrun, and samt. Itbaq. Okay, so now we have rikhwan, jahrun, samt, and itbaq. Let's go over. Then we have istital right here, and we have isti'la right over here, right 6, right over here. So let's go. What is rikhwan? Weakness. Okay, but how is it? What does it mean? We say weakness. What does it mean? We got a word now. Let's get a little further.
The way the letter
spills out. Okay? When you get to tajweed, you should know rikhwan is weakness by one word, but now you have to move it on. That's why I said you should memorize these. Because when you get to tajweed, you are going to have to know more than just weakness. You're going to have to know its application. Okay? You're going to have to know something. You're going to go over the letters again. You're going to go over the letters so much. That's why you're going to be experts and be able to teach someone how to do it. Because you did it first when you learned the letters at a certain level. And you're going to do it again at another level when you get to tajweed. Okay? So rikhwan is that spilling out your mouth, right? All over. Right? That sound is going. Now the next one is what? Jahrun. What is jahrun? It's loud, right? It's loud. Okay? That's audibility, so you can hear. But audibility don't tell you nothing. It has to be loud. Okay? Now the other one is samt. What's that? Control. So the whole time you're doing this, you're specifically leavening and balancing out your sound, your tongue. You're making it fat, right? You're making the side edges. When I say the side edges of your tongue, this is your tongue, right? There's a split part here. You get these parts to get fat. And they get fat by adding water to them. Okay? If this is your tongue like this, the side edges is right here where it gets fat with water. Okay? You make it like a sponge. And you say, ill. You see, you hear that? You feel it? It'll salivate like over here. And you let the water come and slide on the sides to make that sound. It takes what? Practice. That's why we say sump. Because you have to do that. And then these are the grinders, the grinder teeth over here that you're rubbing it against. It's going to rub against these side teeth right here. Not the chopping ones. Not the sharp ones. But the grinders. Here. Okay? And it's going up. This part of it goes up to the roof. You see all of that movement and everything? Takes control. Itbaq. What is itbaq? It's round mouth. So your mouth is like this. Oh, it, the. You see, you don't say that. See that? Even when you go up like this, you change the whole sound. Say that. That's not the sound. The. You understand? You don't say, that's crazy. Right? Some people do that. I'm not trying to make fun of you. Not trying to make fun of you. But what I'm trying to say is that it's walad. Right? The. Walad. Some people say walad. It's not walad because the lam has nothing to do with the. It's walad. And we go on. But the point is that we're making it back. Okay, next one, 800th rule. What do we mean when we say 800th rule? Okay, so every one of these has a rule, right? Has a numeric value, right? What's the numeric value? In abjad. What are the numeric values? 1, 2, 3, 4. We can go down the line, right? So then we want to know the numeric value again and again and again and again and again. We learn these things so we can teach them. We don't learn these things so we can forget them. We don't learn these things so we can hold them and not use them. We learn them so that we can utilize it and we can pass it down. Our motto here, or as they say, our mission statement, each one teach one. So if you want to teach it, you have to learn it properly to raise ignorance up off myself and those around me. That's what we're doing, inshallah. So you want to learn it, abjad, hawaz, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. What's the next one? Huttiya, right? 8, 9, 10. Kaliman, right? Kaliman. Now we go 20, 30, 40, 50, right? And we go all the way down till we get to 800th rule. The 800th rule is dad. It's only going to go to 1,000. So we only got 3 left, right? 800th rule for dad we use. Ikhfa must be recited. Ikhfa. What is ikhfa? What is it? It's a tajweed rule. We'll learn it when we get to tajweed, right? Ikhfa. What's the next one? Istital and isti'la. So the thing that we need to know about ikhfa at this stage is that ikhfa deals with dad. Okay? What ikhfa is exactly is not the purpose of this lesson. But that ikhfa is in dad. Istital. Istitala is that elongation of the, what is it? It's the long, so then I say, il, you see it goes, il. You see how that sound drags like that? That's that istital, and istila is the raising of it. It's different from that istifal. Okay? So it's opposite right here. But istital, it doesn't have no opposite. Okay? So it's one of those, that's why there's 6. The other ones have 5. When they have opposites, right? Because the opposites, there's 5 and 5. That makes 10. 5 oppose the other 5. And then there's 7 that have no opposites. Okay? So the least that a letter is going to have is 5. Sifat. Least it's going to have. So now we have that istital, that dragging and that raising of the tongue. Il. You hear it? Drag, tall, istital. So that's what, read on somebody else. Read the rest of it to me. Okay. Then, say, what'd you say? Think dummy, the first dummy, and then with the dog you speak. So then what it says here is think dummy. Now we know the story of dummy, right? Think dummy. We know dummy now, right? And we know that the dog that comes in dummy comes from the Arabic word, right? Which means the person who was a dummy. The first dummy. And he was Ibn dummy, and that's why we ask if you do something that don't make no sense, are you a dummy? Are you related to this guy, Ibn dummy? Are you one of his progeny? You one of his relatives? Okay? That's where the whole question comes about. Are you a dummy? No, man. I'm not a dummy. I'm Abu Tawbah. Inshallah. Next poem. Now we're finished with Dad, right? Let's go back to the beginning. We say, with Basmalah then, and blessings on them. I'll have my say with you today concerning descriptions of their numerals, points of verb. As each one comes, and as they done, they have their own say. So now after Dad, what's the next one? The, right? The next one is the. Read it to me. Come on now, it's a marching song. A the. Your mouth just make it round. Go ahead. For the.
Your tongue is up, then down.
Go ahead, keep going.
The edge of tongue or that
900 ones is the replete.
A dha replete. Go ahead.
With ikfa
After all the noons,
Allah is said without the blue.
It's said without the blues. Dha, right? Jahrun rikhun isti'la. It's back in something. They make a sound. A dha. Your mouth just make it round. For dha, your tongue is up, then down. The edge of tongue on edged up teeth. 900 ones, a dha replete. With ikhfa after all the noons, a dha is said without the blues. Now we say jahrun. It says jahrun, rikhun, isti'la. Here we go. Isti'la. Itbaq and samt. Okay, here we have these sifat for this letter. Jahrun, it's loud. Rikhun, we know rikhun. By now you guys should notice. I'm just pointing it out to you. Rikhun is spilling out. Isti'la, it's going up. As opposed to what? Istifal. Itbaq, it's round. As opposed to making it what? Fat. Opening up and down like a doorway. Samt is control. Right? This one has to control that tongue. It's a medial control. So now it says dha. Say dha. Now how do we do that? Your mouth, after making it round, for dha, your tongue is up then down. Say dha. You see how it goes up? Then it says the edge of your tongue on edged up teeth. So here goes your teeth right here. Your edge of your tongue, dha. Now say that. You see when you say that, you stick your tongue out. Then I always say stick your tongue out. Say that. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ. No, not the. There. See, now say dha. You see, it's the same makhraj but different sifat. You don't stick your tongue out like that. You say dha. Here you only put the edge of tongue on edged up teeth. The edge of those teeth, the edge of your tongue, you make your mouth round. Dha. Not za. Dha. So then it says 900 ones to make a dha. 900 is the numeric value of dha. Okay? Then it goes on to say ikhfa after all the noon. So whenever you see a noon and the dha comes after it, you know it's coming with ikhfa. Whatever ikhfa should mean, ikhfa is a what type of rule? Tajweed rule. And that's it for dha. All you have to do after listening to this for what? How many weeks now? 9 weeks. Is that you learn these by memorizing them. You memorize the poem. Don't just say, oh, that's cute. That was cool what the brother did. No. Memorize. This is something that you will use. Not just hear. You'll use it with your memorization of the Quran. Believe me, tajweed is a science that you have to apply. And if you're not ready for it, you lose out. But if you're ready for it, it's easy. How do you get ready for it? Learning the alphabet. Here. Do what you got to do here. It'll be easy when you get there. Because the sheikh was going to say to you, the ustad, the teacher is going to say to you, pronounce dha. If you don't know how to say, he says, what is the sifat of dha? You don't know. Get out of here and go learn it then. Because I can't teach you how to recite the Quran if you don't even know what the sifat are, so I can teach you how to apply those sifat. You understand? So then it slows your lessons down because you wasted your time. Take you 10 minutes to memorize a poem in English, right? So remember, our point here is not to be impressed with ourselves or to think that we're some clique or anything, or to be laugh and to be entertained. We come to learn. Put it down. Okay? So it says, Jahrun rikhwan, what? Isti'la, itbaq, and samt. They make a sound. What's the sound? A dha. Your mouth, just make it round. For dha, your tongue is up, then down. The edge of tongue on edge of teeth, 900 ones. A dha replete with ikhfa after all the noons. A dha is said without the blues. Okay? Dha. Say it again. Il. Dha. Okay, let's go to the next one. Last one. This is the last one right here. And this has a story to it, as all of them do. The story goes like this. I usually, astaghfirullah, I got to tell a story. MashaAllah, barakallah fina. Mansour in California. He was the #1 student and probably the best person that can explain the master letters, probably even better than me. He mastered this class when he learned it, and he started teaching it right after he started learning it. And I would love to listen to his explanations of master letters because it was beautiful. He really did a good job. Barakallah fihi. Wa hafidhahullah wa a'anahullah. He's in California still teaching and learning. Now, this one go to the page in your book that says Ghain. Ghain. Ghain is our last letter. We can throw a party now, right? Negative. We still got too much. Everybody got some knowledge, somebody got more knowledge than him. So we can't stop, okay? Now, Ghain. Go and tell the governor we finally got to Ghain, though 1,000 in his number and izhar its claim to fame. With jahrun rikhun isti'la, get fathun something Ghain is that. The place where throat and tongue meet at. The goal is got and gain is trapped. Okay, let's go over this again. Let me tell you the story for this one. Go and tell the governor. We changed that word. It used to be ghidadu. What did it used to be? Write that down. Because when you hear this, you're hearing it so you can explain it. I am not letting you walk out of here talking about you learn master letters and you can't explain master letters. Okay? So you write down where it says governor, the way you study, you say, it says governor right here, right? You go over it and say Gidadu. Gidadu, like that. And then you put a footnote at the bottom, said it used to say Gidadu. And then you listen to the story. When I first started teaching this text, master letters, remember how the story starts? With Bismillah and Alhamdulillah, then blessings on the Prophet. I'll have my say with you today concerning. Go back to that because it goes back to this. Now go and tell Gidadu that we finally got to Ghain. Though 1,000 in its number and it's hard, it's claim to fame. There were some people who stood up after that class. Remember, they asked me to teach a class in Qira'at, in the Qira'ah of Warsh. That's how this whole lesson started out. People wanted to learn how to recite the Quran and say wal ard as opposed to wal ard, right? In Warsh, say Maliki Yawmiddin as opposed to Maliki Yawmiddin. There's differences in the Qira'ah. And when we started to teach them, we realized they didn't know the alphabet. Can we teach them a lesson? Because there are prerequisites, right? So the teacher came to these people and said, with Bismillah and Alhamdulillah, then blessings on the Prophet, I'll have my say with you today concerning authority. Why my say today? Because you might determine, Walaikum salam wa rahmatullah. You might determine that you don't want this lesson. You might say, look, khalli barik huna. You might say, I don't want this lesson. I want the other lesson. And you get out of here because we want you to pay to teach the one that we paid you to teach. Okay? So, one person, a few people did that. They said, look, man, this is a waste of time. You're disrespecting us. We know the alphabet. We know that you waste our time sitting here hearing the alphabet over and over again. I know how to say that. Out of here. Y'all going to spend your time wasting there? Boom. So when he got to this last poem, he said, go and tell Gidadu that we finally got to Ghain. We finally got to Ghain. There's a play on word. We finally got gain is benefit. Right? And also we're talking about Ghain, the letter. So we finally got there. Though 1,000 in its number. What is 1,000 for Ghain? It's numeric value. But here is implied here 1,000 days. It was taking a long time for us to get there. And Izhar, its claim to fame. Izhar is the what? Tajweed rule. Tajweed rule for Ghain is Izhar. Right? And Izhar is its claim to fame. So here is just a lesson for those people. And so we changed it from Ghidadu and put governor to meet everybody's understanding. And the word Gha, governor, you know. It says same like Ghain. Okay? So recite it to me. Go and tell the governor that we finally got to Ghain, though 1,000 in its number and Izhar its claim to fame. With Jaharun, Rikhwun, Isti'la. Get fat from something. Ghain is at the place where tongue and throat meet at. Stop. He gave you the sifat. What are the sifat of Ghain? Jaharun, Rikhwun. It's the same as it was for Izhar. For the Dha, right? Except there's a change. There's no samt. And there's no itbaq. So he said, get fathun, what? Fathun, there's no fathun, that's what I meant, astaghfirullah. So he said instead of itbaq, he put fathun. Ra, right? So even though it looks like it's itbaq, but it's ra, like that. You go up and down, ra. You see that? It goes up and down, and it seems to me it's itbaq, but it's fat. Ra. So make sure you stretch your mouth up that way. Ra. You see that? And it still makes it look round, but you go up and down like a doorway. Okay, so then it says, with jahrun ikhwan isti'la, and get fathun something, ghain is at. Where's ghain at? The place where throat and tongue meet at. What did we say when we were learning tajweed? We said the first rule is idhar, right? فالأول الإظهار قبل أحرفي للحلق ست رتبت فلتعرفي همز فهاء ثم عين حاء محملتان ثم غين خاء. So ghain is as you go up the throat. This is the throat. This is my Mr. P head right here, you know. And here's the throat. You have hamzun, faha'un, thumma aynun, ha'un. Without anything over thumma, ghaynun, kha'un. So the place is where the tongue, at the back of the tongue, and the throat meet at. This is the place of ghayn. Say agh, agh. Say akh. You hear? It's right in the back. Say gha. So this is the letter ghain. It says the place where ghain, throat and ghain met. The goal is got. What was the goal? See, the goal, because we say the same. The goal is got. The goal was to finish master letters. The goal is got and ghain is trapped. And the benefit, here the play on word is the ghain, the letter, and also ghain, the benefit, is trapped. How is it trapped? Because you memorized. So if you memorize it, you trap the benefit. If you wrote, if you record it, and Ibn Uthaymeen, rahimahullah, he used to consider recording with the microphone thingamajig, tape recorders, is just like writing. He said, rather it's better. Because when you write, you might make a mistake. But now with the recorders now, you can't make a mistake, and you can hear it over and over again. And it's easier for you to memorize in this fashion. They said there's no more excuses. Well, I don't know what he said. Well, we record it. Have him say it 20 more times. The goal is got and gain is trapped. We are done. We're finished master letters. Well, alhamdulillah. You should have memorized this piece by piece. And at this stage, well, alhamdulillah, I expect from you. See, that's the benefit of studying. When you study and you go piece by piece, knowledge is stair-stepped. We're done with this step. We're now moving on to the next step. I will be asking you things, and your knowledge base is going to be based on this step. Okay? You may think it's shaky now. It'll get stronger because you get to go review. You review your notes, you come back, and it established more. There's no schizophrenia in Islam. I mean, what is schizophrenia? Like one guy over here and one guy over here. No, it all goes together. All right? It's all going together. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاكم الله خير.